Hey guys, welcome to Thursday's call. Can't believe it's almost the middle of February. We're just going to do our regular housekeeping announcements. Remember, why do we see two Carlos?
Sorry.
Carlos wants to participate twice. See, that's why you need to close the video out. So, right, double trouble. So, announcements. Everyone here knows, it's the middle of February. I was going to say September. And all the packages that are on sale, the 21-day fix, the 3-day refresh, 21-day fix extreme, they're all $140. If you add to the 21-day fix, if you add the 3-day refresh, it'll be a kickstart. That's what they call it, and that's $180. And then there's size. Size is $140 as well. With the kickstart, that would be $140 as well. I also want to congratulate the coaches that already achieved Success Club, Carlos, for helping 3 coaches this month. Congratulations for Success Club 6. We have Carolina and the Rosas at Success Club 10. 5 lives. Woo! Congrats, guys. And the Rosas are killing it. They're like bringing in everyone as a coach. They have 4 coaches out of 5 people they've helped. So congratulations. Carol also has brought in a coach. So congrats, guys. And everyone that is at Success Club 2, 4, you guys are right there. Let's keep helping. We've helped a total of 25 lives so far. I think that's pretty amazing, guys. And we can just, keep helping more people and just inviting, and that's where it is. So I am super excited to announce our guest speaker tonight. I met Gladys, and actually she's going to tell you the story, but I met Gladys at one of these mommy groups. I'll let her tell you the story, but this is the importance of building relationship. Gladys is going to show us and tell us what personal development has done for her in her life. Gladys has been with us since last year, and I am so proud to see, in front of my eyes, her growth. And without further ado, I open up the floor to you. So tell us a little bit about how you became a coach and a challenger and all of that. Start it up.
All right, awesome. Well, hi, team admin. I feel weird being on this side of it. But first, I thought that we are all getting to know each other. And for those of us in the Skin in the Game Mastermind, it's also one of the tasks that we were assigned is to get to know each other a little better personally outside of what is Beachbody. So I am going to share with you a few photos to show you who I am and where we started. I'm going to try to, nope, okay. So, here's the button. Doing it on the phone, so, okay. So these are my parents. It's my mommy and my daddy. I don't know if that's mama, that's daddy. They have been together for 35 years, and they have 5 kids. These are 2 of the kids. That's my baby brother. It's the baby of the house. And that's my baby sister. And when we go out, we get that if we're twins a whole lot. Obviously, we're not, right? But it says a lot about me, right? I look good for my age. My adoring husband, when we started dating, we were 15 and 17 at the time. And this is our one of the only pictures that we have when we got married, which was in 2005. So that's just a little piece of where I am. My parents both came over from Mexico, and we did walk the desert. I think it also contributes to my fear of flying and boats. We walked over. They walked over. My mom turned 15 in a detention center because she was apprehended. My dad came over not knowing a word of English and being illiterate. My dad didn't start reading and writing until he was about 35-ish. But he knew 3 languages. So my dad can speak English, Spanish, and Greek, and to the point where he watches TV in Greek. So give you a little bit of where we get a lot of our driving force sometimes is from our parents, whether we like it or not. And fortunately, or unfortunately, my dad taught us to be very hard workers. I started working with him in family restaurant when I was about 13 years old. And from there, I knew the harder you work, the harder you were able to enjoy. Unfortunately, when I started my career in hotel management, I started as a PBX operator, and I took it very to heart of you have to work hard. You have to work hard. So in 5 years, I went from being an operator in a hotel to being running the full front office. And that entails everything from when you check in to the bellhops to even in housekeeping when those positions got terminated. So it was a lot. I was 22, 23 when I started running departments that big. My last big job was in Times Square. So we opened a hotel, and I'm telling you, opened that the floors weren't even finished yet. And that's when I came in. So if you've lived in New York City or if you're around Times Square area, imagine all of that and having a hotel right there. So I was there. That led to a lot of my drinking. And I'm telling you guys, a lot, to the point where I was hospitalized twice because of it. I didn't know how to handle stress. I didn't know how to handle having to hire and fire people, knowing that they had families and knowing that this was the end for them. So that was very, very hard on me. Then came Matilda. And Matilda is one of the biggest and best things that has happened to us. Does anyone know what the term rainbow baby is? No? Okay. So after a big, big storm, right? Very dark storm, the best thing you can see is a rainbow, right? All agree, and we don't see them often, but if we are lucky enough, we get to see a rainbow. Matilda is my daughter, but she is my fourth pregnancy. To give you guys an idea, a normal pregnancy, when you deliver, you should be about 38 to 42 weeks. Matilda was born at 37 weeks. And 2 children prior to that, we had a daughter at 35 weeks. So she is, so she is our rainbow baby. And she wants to say hi. There you go. Totally not scripted. She decided to come in on her own. But before Matilda was born, we were told that she had a 1 in 5 probability of being born with an extra chromosome. This led, the options were obviously, first and obvious choice would be a healthy baby at the end of it, or her having a disease that's called Tay-Sachs, which means they don't survive, leave alone childhood. Some of them don't even survive the pregnancy, or Down syndrome. When you're told things like this, you question a lot of things. We were angry with God. We were angry with ourselves because our other pregnancies, maybe that's what happened and no one told us. And it was just a lot. And even prior to getting pregnant with Matilda, I was pregnant a few months before, but a block from my house, I was assaulted. I got punched so hard in the face that this was the size of about a nickel. And you can't see the scar anymore. I know Wendy's like, what? You can't see the scar. You can see it very minimal if you're up close. So I had this part of my lip hanging off, flapping off in the wind. This was a hole. And I was pregnant. Because of the injury, they had to give me a tetanus shot. So I lost my pregnancy. So with that, and then again told that your child might not survive the current pregnancy, we were angry. We were upset. We took refuge in my house. I refused to leave. And when I'm telling you guys, I refused to leave. I had cabs pick me up in front of the building, drop me off in front of the building, and I was home before 2 in the afternoon. I didn't want to know anything about the world. I was closed off. I was angry. Why keep going? I went out and what happened? Moving forward, Matilda's born, perfectly healthy, great, tiny, She was born tiny. She was born at about 5 pounds. And she gets sick, 6 days being home. We have to go back to the hospital. She's hospitalized for jaundice, which is, it is a little common, but because of her size and because of the medical history, they started testing and testing again. Getting told that your child might be sick after you went through everything of that in pregnancy was, again, horrifying and hard. And we were, what are we doing wrong? Why are we being punished, basically? We get out of that. We survived it somehow. I went through very deep depression, which I'm still, every day is a battle. For those of us that have been through it, we know that the biggest success is making it out of bed, because that is hard. But we made it, and we started taking her to her doctor's appointments, and she got her vaccines at 2 months old. So we're okay, fine. Let's go out of the house. Let's start trying to get her out, because during this whole time, I did not leave. And she ends up getting sick. She ends up getting RSV. If any of you have children, you know it's a respiratory virus. It could be, it's defined like a really bad cold, which can turn into pneumonia, which can turn deadly for a child that size. Luck would have it, it turned bad for us. She was hospitalized to the point where they did need to put her on breathing machines to help her. And we weren't told what was going on. We were told, your child is sick. You have to take her to the emergency room. Your normal oxygen range should be between 99 and 100%. She was at 86 when we got to the doctor's office. And by the time we got into the ambulance, it was at about 80. So that, again, it's, you keep trying to go forward and you keep getting knocked out. And I really didn't know how to deal with it. So we fell deeper into depression. She makes it through absolutely fine. She, we bring her home, and I go into even a deeper depression because we trusted to outside and she got sick. We did everything and she still got sick. So I refused to go out. My refuge was getting online. And, you can Google different words and get nothing pop up, and nothing popped up. So my depression grew in deeper. At the same time, we were having marital problems. And when I'm telling you marital problems, it became a lot of financial problems. Within a span of 6 weeks, we had our cell phones cut off, our cable cut off, our electricity cut off, and we're served an eviction notice. So with everything else on top, you get all this served. I was done. I know I talked to you guys about a suicide attempt that I had earlier. That's what led to it. So at that point, Matilda's now almost 2. I'm lost. What do I do? What can I do? Luck would have it. One summer, last year, 2015, I went on Facebook and I'm like, you know what? Let's try this as a new Google, and let me type in Bronx Mom. A Bronx Mommy group came up, right? Okay, great. Got in there and saw, different moms from all parts of the Bronx, so Westchester, so we could relate on as far as what was going on in the area. I still refused to go out. I was horrified. I went nowhere without my husband, to the point where my child now doesn't really like to go out. Tell her she's a little antisocial, which her daddy's very proud of. He wants her to stay that way, keep away from the guys. But I didn't take her to the park alone. The park's 2 blocks away, guys. I refused to go there by myself. And this mom kept posting about being thankful and about being positive. And she was just, she would go on about how we need to see the good in things, how we need to stop looking at negativity. And one of the posts that she put up was in regards to the news, how we let that influence us so much that it takes over, that all we're looking at is looking out for the bad. All we're looking at is how bad the Bronx is, how bad the subway system is, how bad everything is, when it's not. We have so much to be thankful for, that we can control how we feel about things. We can control on how we feel about things. We can't give that control to anybody else. In that same post, she said that she was going to do something that she wanted to do for a really long time. She was going to start a book club. Now, this mom, she's a little, but like, you know what? It's a book club. I love reading. And she put that she was going to give us the book or the audiobook. No idea I had zero clue what an audiobook was, but I was like, okay, a book, free, done, sign me up. After that post, I put Matilda in a stroller and I went to the park. My husband was scared because he saw us, getting things together. He's like, you have an appointment? What's going on? My husband works overnights. So for him to be functional, it's usually really early in the morning. So he's like, I didn't know. Let me shower real quick. I'll go with you guys. No, it's okay. We're going to the park. You're going to the park? Yeah, we're going to go have lunch in the park. I'm like, oh, okay. Are you sure? Yep, I can do it. He's like, okay. I walked out of the house. We got to the park. We sat on the bench. We started having a yogurt. 5 minutes later, my husband appears. He's like, are you sure you're okay? Are you sure you're going to be okay? I'm here. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. Well, look, it's a great day. The sun's out. He's like, all right. And he left it at that. No, sat there with us. We come back home. I'm like, tomorrow we're going to the library. So you're going to the library? I'm like, yeah, we're going to go to the library. Okay. Again, he was like, very like, where the hell is this woman coming from? What is she planning? What's she doing? What? So he lets me. We start going out. We start doing all these activities. If it weren't for that mom posting about PT, and if you guys haven't figured it out by now, that mom is a Gabby. That's how Gabby and I met. We met because she started posting on this mommy group about just positive. Just being positive, just being able to look at good things everywhere. So I joined her book club, and the first book we read was The Compound Effect, which to me, I was crying when I first heard the story of Darren and his dad, because that was me and my dad. My dad loves us, and he loves us, and there's no question in my mind that my dad loves us, but my dad is tough. You don't want my dad to have a talk with you, because you know that he's going to make you feel lower than the shit that's on the floor. So I was in tears when he first started talking. And from there, I wanted more. And I wanted more, and I wanted more, to a point where I read 5 books in a span of 2 months. And Gabby was like, I know now I understand why she did it. And I understand, what. Yeah, that's your Gabby. Matilda, your Matilda's Gabby, FYI. Yeah, she calls it her Gabby. What it can do. So I went back after we finished You Are a Badass. I went back and I read The Compound Effect again, because he talked about worksheets that were in his books and on his websites. So I actually went and printed out the sheets. And the one that I did is called the Life Assessment. Now, I know we all read The Compound Effect, but if you haven't done your life assessment, you really, really need to. I keep my old one, which I did in September of 2015. I keep it around to see how far I went. And this is what my life wheel looks like. And I was all over the place. Ideally, your life should be a circle, right? Because circles keep rolling, keep going. Mine was falling flat, and was falling flat in a lot of areas. Most obvious would be the financial one, but also lifestyle. I had no life. I spoke with no one outside of Matilda's doctors and whoever was online at 2, 3 in the morning, because insomnia hits you also when with depression. So I started also wanting something more, which I guess is what Gabby saw in me in order to become a coach, because she went ahead and approached me about the 21-day fix. And just because I think I posted something in regards to it, and she reached out. Great. I trusted Gabby because, first off, she hasn't steered me wrong. But I trusted her because she started with being a positive person, and I wanted to be around her. Because in that mom group, personally, I know about 4 coaches there also. But I don't know, they don't all give you that you can do it feeling. They don't give you that, yes, you're worth it spirit. And that's what I got from her. So we went, and I went ahead and also looked up what personal development was, even when she posted what PD was, right? I'm like, okay, so it's like self-help. I recently went back and looked at what PD is, and it's improving your self-awareness, your self-knowledge, skills, build up your self-esteem, improve your wealth, your spiritual development, and improve your health. That's just the short version of what PD is. So I kept thinking, how am I going to go ahead and let you guys see? I had an epiphany this last couple of days where the vital behaviors revolve around PD, right? I know one of the vital behaviors is PD, but the other 2 end up being PD too, right? So stay with me. Ready? The first one is invite, invite, invite. And that doesn't mean send out invitations. It means invite people to your challenge groups, invite people to the business opportunity, invite people to your life, right? So how are you inviting? If you're always posting, oh, great, another Monday. Great, finally the weekend, gonna get hammered. What type of people are you inviting? Now, if you say, Monday, we made it. Let's start it. Let's destroy it. And all right, Friday, finally, I get to decompress. It gives another meaning to what you're doing. You can still be doing the same thing. You can still be joining Mondays. And let's face it, Monday's always going to be Monday. Poor thing. Got stuck in the beginning of the week, which is why I say I start my week on Sunday. That week, Mondays don't look so hard. Calendar starts on Sunday. Why not me? Who am I to tell the calendar no, right? And if you're posting that you want people to be happy, somebody that has no idea where I am, who I am, wants me to be happy. Let me go look on their page. Let me see how happy they really are. And they go on and they're seeing that you are doing something for yourself, that you are doing something to go ahead and make them feel better, something to spread that, what you are learning, you're putting it out there. They're going to give you a chance. They're going to respond to you when you send them an invite. I befriended a friend of a friend, right? No idea who this lady is. I posted the invite to the open house. She was like, what is this about? How do I join? What do I do? I'm like, oh, hey, my name is Gladys. I'm a beach bike coach. She's like, no, I saw your page. I know. What do I need to do in order to sign up? Like, oh, okay. Well, the open house is tonight. I will get you in there. Whatever questions, just go ahead. Let me know. She sends me a message about 15 minutes before it ended. I need to leave, but I can so do this. What do I need to do? Call me, but please call me tomorrow to discuss. Like, oh, okay. I will go ahead and call you. Not a problem. If you would have told me a year ago that I would have been doing this, I would have believed you. I would not have believed you. I was in such a dark place, in such a horrific place where I was mad at everyone and hated everything and didn't trust. And if you guys are reading your PD or listening to your PD and you're not getting out of these circles, you're reading the wrong one. If you fell in love with the very first book of PD that you read, go back and read it. Go back, highlight it. This is how I have a compound effect. These are all markers and pages that help me when I'm having a rough day. I go ahead and I tell other people. I mention nothing about Beachbody. I'm still friends with a lot of people that work in hotels. And because I've been there, I tell them, have you read The Energy Bus? The Energy Bus? What the hell? What are you talking about? He's like, listen, I'm not into any of your mom things. It's not a mom book. It's if you're in a position where you have to hire, fire, train people, you need to read the energy bus, because that shitty feeling that you're getting when you have to do it, I've been there, and believe me, it's not your fault. I wish somebody would have told me about the energy bus when I was working. I needed it, because all of that led to my drinking. All of that led to me feeling that I couldn't do good to anyone. I've had to fire people that had families. I've had to take their health care insurance away. And because we needed health care insurance when I was pregnant, I know how shitty those people must have felt when I took it away. You know, we ate into our savings with Matilda. Hospital bill for her second stay was $18,000. You know, if you're a family man or a head of household woman, where do you get that from? You know, so I tell people that are still in the industry, I tell friends that because I've had friends reach out to me like, my God, what are you doing? Why are you so happy all the time? I'm like, why not? Why aren't you happy? Let's talk about that. Why aren't you happy? Because I'm happy. I see great in everything. It's raining. Amen. The flowers are getting wet. They're eating. They're drinking. Mother Nature's not angry at us. She's working how she's supposed to be working. They're like, so seriously, what are you doing? I'm like, listen, I joined Beachbody. You want to learn about Beachbody? It's so much more than workouts. So much more. I'm like, I have friends now. Because you MFers don't visit me. I have people that care about me. I have people that call me that make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. When was the last time you did that for one of your team members? They stay quiet and they say something, because if they're reaching out to me, it's because usually it's for career advice. I know, very weird. Career advice, right? But they want to know the truth, and I tell it to them how it is. And I tell them, what do you read? Read. I don't have time. Yes, you do. You watch TV, you have time to read. You get on a train, you get on a bus, you're in a car driving, you have time to listen. Don't let anything stop you. Don't look at it like, oh, it's something I have to do. No, it's something you should want to do. Like, I give them names of different people, of different things that they could read or listen to, depending on what they're calling me about. The energy bus is definitely up there for those that are working and are in those positions. For family related financial issues, I tell them all about Dave Ramsey, which has helped us like you guys have no idea. We are following his 7 steps, and it's been hard, but it's worth every single sacrifice that we're doing, because we've seen an improvement in our relationship. The other day I was humming something that I hadn't done in years. My husband walks into the kitchen. He was like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. Why? I'm here washing dishes. He's like, no, you're humming. I'm humming. He's like, yeah. And not any particular song, just humming. He's like, what you do? What you do? What you buy? His questions. I'm like, I haven't done anything. I haven't bought anything. He's like, so why are you happy? I'm like, I want to be happy. I am happy. Why aren't you happy? He's like, no, I'm happy. I'm okay. Are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. You know, it's become to this point in our relationship where it's like we're scared to be happy. And some we can't be scared. We shouldn't be scared. We're not stealing. We're not lying. We're helping people. We're telling people about the good things that there are in life. So what do we need to be afraid of? Why shouldn't we be happy? So he took that for a couple of days. And the other day there was a box of markers on the table. And he sits down and he looks at the markers and he's like, you know, Matilda's lucky. I'm like, yeah, of course Matilda's lucky. Matilda's blessed. Matilda has, you know, more than what any person can want. He's like, and you know, we've done that. He's like, yeah. He's like, no, but you see these markers. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you have no idea how much I begged my dad for markers when I was little. He's like, and I never got them. He's like, and now Matilda has 3 packs. That makes me feel good. Okay. I'm like, I know. I'm like, and it's okay. I'm like, you should feel good. I'm like, she has everything because of you. So even the way I'm growing in my personal development has rubbed off on him. And this is a man that when you guys meet him, he is, hmm hmm and for him to break down that way over markers, I was, you know, even more convinced that we're doing the right thing. So that is my PD story, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. I feel so much better about it. I really do hope that you guys got something out of it. One thing that I do want for y'all to remember is that when you are doing PD, it is for you. It absolutely is for you. But what you are doing is going to impact so many more people than what you can think of. So if you're doing some PD and you're just not feeling it, which I've been there. I've stopped reading some books because it's just wasn't getting to me. I didn't stop doing PD. I just found something else to do. And one other form of PD that I found, I watch comedians. I watch comedians because when you laugh at things, it really is some of the best medicine. And one comedian that I was watching recently said, that he was asked in an interview, who are your writers? How do you get your material? He's like, it's just things that happen to me. He's like, and why not share them? If I found them funny, why shouldn't somebody else find them funny? So if you're finding that's something that works, why aren't you sharing it? It could definitely work for somebody else.
Damn. I was trying to compose myself throughout the whole time, but you got me with those markers because we are blessed. Sometimes we focus on the things that we don't have, then we forget about the things that we do have. And that's amazing that, that you brought that up because we are super blessed compared to where our parents came and our grandparents and to where we are today. We are super blessed. And I think that, this is Beachbody is, like you said, is beyond a workout, because we get to pay that forward and not just the getting healthy, but, the living like a full round, healthier life, happier life, purposeful life, and being able to help others that are in need is beyond. When you mentioned about the invitation, I love how you broke that down. The invite to a challenge group, invite to the opportunity, and invite into your life. And we all have to remember, guys, that it's really not about getting that person to buy a challenge pack from us, because some people will never buy from us. Some people might come around later, maybe buy in a month, maybe buy in a year, because that's happened to me, but they might not. But if you touch them, and impact them the way that you were meant to, then you've done your job as a coach. Because we just don't coach in a challenge group. We coach in life. We're life changers, and that person may, like Gladys said, they might just be needing that one word from you. So always definitely invite to your life. I'm going to open it up to the team to see if anyone has any questions, comments for you. I think you did amazing. Thank you so much for opening your life to us and sharing with us. You are the bomb, Diggity. I'm so happy that you are part of our team.
I figured, what, let me go first. Because part of it, guys, I know we have some newer coach on. It is working on your story. It's also part of your profile on the Beachbody website. People want to know who you are because they could get assigned to you, and that's great. But if they don't find anything to click with you, they're not going to continue on the program. One of the things that I saw that is asked is about the markers that I have. So what they're basically is page separators. I got them at Books A Million. And you can usually find them on all these other stores, but that one's in Pennsylvania, and of course my family's out there. We got them there. So that's what they are. That's what they look like. They are small. They do hold a couple of pages together, and they are magnetic. So you can go ahead and you open it up, you get the page, and then you clip onto it. And they don't take up much space. Where did I put the book? when I find the book. Y'all looking at my dirty floor. Don't look at my dirty floor. Um, you could. They don't take up much space. Did you take mommy's book, Matilda? Matilda borrowed my compound effect. That's okay. And they are. They're not expensive. I think they were like $3 for 6. So, you can find them. I'm sure like Barnes and Nobles also probably has them. They should be by they should be by the checkout section usually where all the bookmarks are. But yeah, these are cool. They're little. They are laminated, so they do last for a while.
Anyone else? Questions, comments?
I think I'm going to hashtag all my posts with hashtag markers from now on. That was awesome.
And the week starts on Sunday.
True that.
And please no one say that you are going out to get trashed.
And Gladys, I just want to say awesome job. Like you, just listening to you made me feel more positive. I had a long day today, and just listening to you made me feel like, you know what, not that bad compared to some things that could be going on in our life. And I haven't been doing as much PD as I'd like. You know, I need to get more audio files versus the books because it's hard for me when I'm driving. But definitely need to incorporate it for me and a lot of my staff too, because there's always room for improvement. And you got to make time. That's what I always tell people. You got to make time for it. So I have to practice what I preach as well, making time for myself. So thank you for sharing that with us. You're awesome. You made me, like, you blew my mind right now. I really have no words.
Aw, thank you guys. Thank you. And really, really, like, sometimes being in a position where you have to run people or you have to train and people are under you. I used to tell jokes. I used to be the corny joke teller. And, God, a corny joke. But it would, for those 5 minutes that we were, waiting for computers to start up or, this day to get started, you tell them a joke, it'll lift them up throughout the day. And then all day they'll be like, that joke that he told in the morning. God, he's so corny. But it's doing something for them internally. And it's hard when you're in positions where people are under you. I've been there. It's really hard. But reading The Energy Bus, again, that book for me did wonders because it is hard. When people have good hearts, you want everyone to do good. You hate having to write up people. You hate having to discipline. You hate having to fire people, having to cut hours. We used to take pay cuts in order to keep some of our staff on, and sometimes you just can't do it. And you have to accept that just some people are never going to get on board with you and that we need to let go of those people because it's not our fault. Right. It's their fault. So if you I don't know if you have like satellite radio, maybe listen to a comedian on your way to work. So that way you start your day pumped up. And some of these comedians are really funny. They're like, some of their subjects are a little wrong and raunchy, but listen, if it gets you going if it gets you going, you're probably thinking of somebody now. So you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna tune into that show. You can definitely, music also. If you listen to something that really pumps you up. There's also days where I need a good cry. Mm-hmm. Hashtag Adele. Let it all roll out. So if you look at everywhere for PD, you will find PD. Recently on the news, there was about a Jets player or Giants player. They're not Broncos, so I don't pay attention. Going into schools and talking to kids. And they interview one of the kids afterwards. And he's like, you know what? I feel like I can do anything now. Mm-hmm. Little 7-8-year-olds. But they got a session of PD. That's how I look at it now. Mm-hmm. They got a session of PD. So why aren't you looking for PD in other places? No.
You know what we can do too? I know that, because I know you drive a lot, Rudy. So maybe we can try to find, I know that Team Eagle, Libra Legacy, they have a lot of, like a vault of personal development. So sometimes it might be like ebooks, but if they're audio, we can borrow them and put them on our page. And then you can start that way, so that you can listen on your way to work, on your way back, because, I know that you guys both, from hearing Gladys' story and maybe others here work in, management before, and having to fire people takes away like a lot from you, I did it many times over hundreds and hundreds of times. And it felt like the very first time I did it, I felt horrible inside because I didn't sleep the night before because I knew I have been on the receiving end. So I know how it feels when someone tells you that you no longer have a job. And so having to do it to somebody else, but you're just the messenger. So you can't take that personal, like Gladys said. So definitely PD helps. And you know what? That's another thing that I love that Gladys said. We really are helping, people, inviting them to see that life can be better than whatever they're experiencing. Because I never PD, I didn't even know what that was. I would see people on the train reading, and I'm like, I want to sleep. You know what I mean? Seriously, I don't want to read anything. And now you understand why, you read, why you listen to positivity, because we're surrounded, by a lot of negativity. So
you cannot sleep in the train anymore.
Huh.
Yeah.
You can't.
Dangerous.
Yeah. So true. So true.
Awesome. Anyone else before we?
Gladys, you inspire me, man. I mean, by hearing you talk, and you're so positive. I thought that I was positive, but I think you are really positive. And that tells me that I need to read more personal development, so then I can make my strengths better and stronger. And thank you for all those tips that you gave us. Really good, really great story.
There was a question that my sister put in the chat, Gladys. She said, favorite books, maybe PD you recommend for certain things?
I love Darren. Me and Darren, we're on a first name basis, in case y'all didn't know. I'll let you know. In case you didn't know, he calls me every morning, leaves me, 2-minute recordings. But definitely, Darren Hardy, I know we all read it. If you've read it once, read it again. There is no rule that says that we can only read a good book once. I love that one. I also tell people, especially when we hear a lot about, well, I can't because of the money. I can't because of the money. Okay. Dave Ramsey is amazing. Dave Ramsey put things in such a simple terms that, like my sister says, you feel like at the beginning, your dad's yelling at you because he makes you see things that you've wasted your time and money on. And at the end of it, it's like your friend's telling you, this is how you're supposed to do it. So definitely Dave Ramsey. The books that I've read about that he's written are the one that he wrote with his daughter, which is Smart Money, Smart Kids. And then The Complete Guide to Money, which The Complete Guide to Money is also another book that I have filled with little markers, because sometimes you do want to go buy really, really nice and pretty shoes. But if you haven't completed the baby steps there, you're like, no, let me hold off and save it, because we will need it, and I'm telling you, $18,000 in hospital bills proved that we needed it.
Cool. Thank you. Anna and her markers. She keeps putting that. Okay, so unless anyone else has anything else for Gladys, I am Anna. Besides your markers? Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Gladys, again, for stepping up. You did wonderful. You brought it home for all of us. I think I speak for the entire team. And thank you, everyone, for jumping on. And we'll see you in the trenches. Have a great night. Bye.